Hello, everyone. This is a tutorial on Hadoop and MapReduce programming. Um, this is very helpful for your last assignment. If you go to Moodle, you can find this folder, Hadoop files. So I already created and prepared a virtual machine and installed Ubuntu and Hadoop for you. So you can easily download this virtual machine and run Hadoop on this virtual machine. As I said, this is required for the last assignment. You need to do practice with MapReduce programming. So I put a link here in the shared folder. If you click on that, okay, so you will go here and then you need to download this zip file. Please note that this is quite big, about 10 or 11 gigabyte, so it takes a while to download it. So I already downloaded that on my downloads folder. So this is the zip file, and then I unzip this file. It creates a folder for me, and this folder will have, the files required for the virtual machine. So after you open, you unzip the file, okay, and just see this folder has been created. That's good. You need to go to the next step in the in Moodle. I have prepared a tutorial for you. You can click on that and then yeah, go through this tutorial step by step. It will help you to understand MapReduce programming and Hadoop file system. So first of all, you need to uh, download and install VMware Player to be able to use that virtual machine. Okay, so I have provided a link for you, so you can go here and download the yep, VMware Workstation Player. Okay, so let's download it and install it. So here, yeah, I need, because I'm running a Windows machine, I need this version, VMware Workstation Player for 64 operating system Windows. So I download it and install it. That's quite a straightforward. So okay, I open the file. It takes just a few seconds to install it. It's VMware Player is needed to open that virtual machine. So next. Yeah, I'm happy with this default settings. So install. Remember, this is free. So of course, there is a non-free version. You need to have a key for that, but we don't need that. We just use the free version for education purposes. So don't worry. Um, while it's being installed, I go to the tutorial, and then yeah, you already have this link to download a copy of the virtual machine in zip format. Remember that you need to use your Crown account to be able to access to the SharePoint. Okay. After we do this, we need to, okay, so let me finish this. All right, after you finish that, just type here VMware Player. It shows up. Yep, So let me hide this one. Okay, so yeah, it shows something like this. It could ask you the product key, and at the same time, it may offer you a free version for education. So go for that free version. So what you want to do is just open a virtual machine here. And then you need to go to that folder after unzipping that zip file. You have a folder, and this is the file we are looking for. You double click on that, and it will come here. If it asks you, you move it or you copy that, you can say, okay, I copied that. Because I already opened that on my computer, it didn't ask me. But if it asks, just say, okay, I copied that. If you see this virtual machine here, you can click on play virtual machine. Okay, yes. And it seems that everything is all right. I maximize the window. It's an Ubuntu machine, and I installed Hadoop on it. So don't worry about the username, the password. It's mentioned here. So the user already said the password is info703 all capital. Okay, so I type info703 all capital and get into the virtual machine. Okay, then you need to open a terminal. To open a terminal, you can right click here, right click everywhere on the desktop, and click on open terminal. It will open a command terminal for you in Linux. Then you will have a chance to type some commands. If I go to the tutorial, it says, okay, type this command, start hadoop.sh start hadoop.sh. Okay, then enter. It takes a while to get Hadoop running, so don't worry about it. Um, while it just gets Hadoop nodes running, let's go to the next step. After this starts working and you come back to the command line, which means it's finished, the next command is JPS to ensure that Hadoop is running. If you run JPS and see this one, name node, resource manager, JPS data node, blah, blah, this means that all nodes in Hadoop are up and running. That's a good news. Okay, let me go back to the virtual machine. It's not finished yet. Now I came back to the command prompt, and means that okay, the previous command is finished. Now the next command is JPS. As you see, name node, data node, node manager, all of this are running, and that's a good news for me. Another way you can check that Hadoop is running is going to the web interface. Just open Mozilla, for example, Mozilla Firefox, and here go to localhost, and this port 50070. Okay. Okay. If you go to data nodes and see something like that, it seems that okay, the data node is running on this machine. Again, that's a good news. Okay. Now let's go back to the terminal. So far, so good. So that is another way. Localhost 8088. That's one way, and localhost 50070. You can check that Hadoop is running. I prefer this one because later, through these utilities, I can work with the file system in Hadoop. Okay. Now, after we ensure that Hadoop is running, I want to go through one example, which is called word count. It's a classical example of MapReduce programming. It counts the number of, or occurrences of each word in a text file using, parallel processing, and MapReduce programming. So it's literally just split this text file line by line and allocate each line to one node. Each node splits that line and counts the number of words in it. For example, boss, one word in this line, car is one word, train is one. So all of these nodes will just work on the piece of data, and then they aggregate in the next part. So for example, we have one boss here and um, two bus here. This should be three. So two bus. Oh, sorry. The next part is just sorting this. So all bus will go in one part. All cars will go in another part. All trains, all plane, and then in the next part, it's reducing or aggregation. The aggregation is here, summing up these words. So two bus, one bus, adding them together, three bus. In total, in this file, we have three bus, three occurrences of bus. One car, then two cars here, yep, and so on. So by splitting data into pieces and working on each piece, this is called mapping. And then aggregating the results into the final result, this is called reducing. I already put a video for you here, and you can just watch it and get familiar with MapReduce programming. Now that it's the time to run this word count for you, okay? So there are several commands I need to do. First of all, I need to this Hadoop FS, it's a kind of command for Hadoop file system. So I create a directory, name it user, and then Reza, and then inside that, one directory called input, okay? It's up to you. How do you name these directories? I just follow this example. And then I have one example, one file called sample.txt. It's a txt file. I want to just copy that into input directory. And then, so let's do this first. Hadoop F, so as you see, the syntax is fs and then dash mkdir slash user, and then a slash Reza, a slash user slash Reza, the same thing. And then inside this input, this is for input directory. If you say Hadoop fs-ls, it shows what kind of files and directories you have here. So I have, for example, input directory, and then I would say, so this is this sample.txt file. Let me show you what is the content of this sample txt file. If you're familiar with Linux, to type the content of the file, you can say cat sample.txt. This is a very simple file. I just wanted to test my word count example, but this could be a huge file because Hadoop is supposed to just deal with very big files. Okay, no problem. So I want to put it in the HDFS file for Hadoop to run word count example on it. Okay, let's do that. Hadoop fs -put sample.txt, and as you see, this is the part I'm doing that. User Reza input. I want to put it here. So slash user um, user Reza input. If there is no error, it means everything is fine. Now, if you come to this web interface and go to utilities, browse the file system. Okay, so you should be able to use this to see these directories: user, then Reza, then input, and now you can see sample.txt. That's the file. I just put it here. So if you want, you can download it. You can see it from here. Just I leave it. Go back to the root directory user. Okay, now to run this word count program, this is a Java program. I have to run this command to change the directory to go to Hadoop because the file is there. So if you see, the file is this one, wordcount.java. Okay. Now to run this, as you see, I need to run this command: Hadoop jar Hadoop examples blah blah word count input output. Okay. So I say, okay, Hadoop jar Hadoop examples dot jar blah blah and word count input output. Probably that's going to be W capital and C capital word count. Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's a problem here also. Hadoop jar. Okay. Let's see what is word count. No, it should be probably lowercase. Sorry. Word count. Yeah, that's going to work. So my apology for that. So word count all lowercase. Okay, now as you see, it's finished. And if I go to this user interface, going to here, now I have a new directory. It's called output. I go here, and as you see, it's there are two files. Success means that it's finished successfully, and part 0000, it's the output file. Okay, so if you want, you can download it and see what is the content of that. Okay, so let me download this, download. Okay, and then save it somewhere. And then if you want, you can open it somewhere. So there is only one Reza. There is one Reza. This one, so remember that this word count Java is uses a space as delimiter. So this dot is attached to Reza, so it's considered as one word or token. So yeah, don't worry about this. So there are two this. You can play with that sample.txt. If you want to edit sample.txt, you can just use gedit or whatever. Just give me 1 second first. If you want to get access to that output file here in the command line, you can say, okay, Hadoop fs-cat, okay, then slash user slash Reza slash output. That folder is called output. And what was that part 00? Yeah, part dash R dash 5 zeros. Part dash R dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Then it will print the content of the file here. So that is fine. Everything is fine. Now let's go for the next example, which might be helpful for your assignment as well. Okay. The next example, so this was the last command I used. So don't worry about this more. This is for big files. If the output file is so big, you don't have any chance to see everything at the beginning. More shows you page by page the output. Yeah, as I said, you can also see here. All right. If you want to delete the output file, you can use this command. Okay, so that is easy to just delete the output file. And for the other program, which is called wordCount.java, this one is capital W and capital C. Okay. There are several commands you need to do here. So I will minimize this and go through these commands one by one. Okay. So let's start. So I'm talking about this file wordCount.java, the last one. Because you need to change this one for the assignment. I will tell you how, and yep. So let's do that. Export Hadoop underscore. So let me make this bigger. Hadoop underscore class path equals dollar Hadoop. So if you're familiar with Linux and Ubuntu, that should be easy for you. Okay. So yeah, I did that. Export Hadoop underscore class path dollar Hadoop class path. That's it. Okay. Now mkdir classes. That's fine. Java dash class path dollar Hadoop underscore class path, and then word count.java. Okay, that is the main part. Word count.java. It compiles this word count.java. Then jar dash cvf word count dot jar dash c capital C, remember, classes slash, and the main point here after this full stop should be typed. This dot means current directory in Linux, so don't forget to type this dot here. Okay, yep, everything is good. Now let's go to the last one. Hadoop jar word count.jar word count capital W capital C. That was my confusion for the previous example. Input. So name the output as output 2 or something different with the previous one, because we already have output, and if you use the same one, there might be an error. So use a different one. Okay, here we have an exception. So let me check what happened. Hadoop jar word count dot jar word count input output. So probably in the previous steps there might be something wrong. Let me check. Do we have classes here? Yeah, classes. We have classes. And Javac that. So let me double check everything. You don't need to follow these steps necessarily. Echo dollar Hadoop class path to check that everything is fine with this. Yeah, that's fine. So Java dash class path dollar Hadoop underscore class path and word count dot Java. Yep, word count dot Java. Let's see. Yep, no problem. So jar dash CVF word count. Oh, okay. Now I understand probably what is the problem. So let me check something. So let me go to gedit is an editor in Linux, equivalent to Notepad. So if you go for this word count .java and edit it, gedit word count.java, okay? So one thing that we need to double check here. Yep. Yeah, so that's fine. That is all good. So yep, everything. I will come back and explain this to you later. All right. So Java. Now let's go for jar file. Jar dash CVF and jar dash CVF word count dot jar dash capital C classes slash yep classes slash dot. Okay, so let's see what happens, and then let me check the classes folder. No, it just doesn't work. That one. Just let me double check something.